Hey YouTube, this is John. If you need to reach me, leave a comment below on the video, like, subscribe, or you can reach me at my email at americanfathersunion@gmail.com. Uh, so had a court case coming up. I reached out to Amin Osiris and Rick W. Um, and some of the papers that I filed before I reached out to them. Rick, I got a couple of different emails because I've been in the father's rights movement for a while, and I've filed my own papers, and I've helped other people file papers, and came from a construction background, for it is a big learning curve, and so I know a lot of people are strapped for money, and so I'm gonna kind of be all over the place because I'm trying to kind of pull things from all over the place and kind of get it organized a little bit. As I'm doing that to help myself out, I thought I might as well do a video to help everybody else out too. Some of you might know this, some of you might not. So those of you that don't, hopefully this helps you out. I'm not going to show you Rick W.'s paper or Amin Osiris's papers because those guys worked hard on their paperwork. And this really isn't about that. Maybe in some future videos I'll do that. I was thinking about, kind of setting up a website and doing some of my sample forms. But a lot of the problem that you have with that is a lot of the forms that I'm filing are pretty much the same thing as what lawyers are doing. Just kind of damage control, and really kind of need a solution to this. And really, I think these two guys are on the verge of getting something done about this. I think when we all get together, I think we'll get something done about this. Plus, I think it's kind of good that an ex-law enforcement agent comes in and kind of sees this. And this is in back in 2008. They formed in Illinois. They formed the Illinois Family Law Study Committee, and I think it was also right about that time that 84.7% of the non-custodial parents are dads. And this is from a 2010 Census Bureau. So pretty much throughout the country, some a little less, some a little bit more. It used to be 84% of the non-custodial parents were dads. And that number might vary from place to place, but pretty consistently across the country, that was the number. And they kind of held out for like agents, like enforcement agents, so people of the court or law enforcement agents that they would use to control things, and then as these greedy people do, they stopped even helping out the enforcement agents, so a lot of these law enforcement who were protected, then now they're not protected. And in Illinois, according to the Illinois Family Law Study Committee, which I'm not supposed to have these numbers, but I kind of made some connections. So these are their numbers. 92% of the non-custodial parents in Illinois are fathers. 4% of the children will be awarded to the state. 2% will be awarded to fathers, and then and so on. So there's lots of you have joint custody and some other things going on. So basically, you're more likely to have your child taken by the state than you are to get custody of your child. Basically, if you do, you're in the 2 percentile group, and that I don't think that number's going down. I think that's going up, and they're putting further and further restrictions on it. So basically, you have a slim to no chance in the courtroom, and so anything you can do to help. And I think that these guys have on the verge of getting something done about things, and I think if you get people together in mass numbers, we can do something about it. And that was a problem when I was protesting and doing things. Is you know, before the police would try to arrest us, you know, and really harass the crap out of us, and then when you could I wasn't sure exactly when, but you could tell when they stopped, you know, helping their enforcement agents and started stealing from them as well, then the police would show up and say, oh no, we want to see you here. Unless they make me arrest you, we're not going to arrest you. We want to see more of you. You know, so I think all of us are in the same boat, and if they're not, you know, they're greedy, you soon will be. So I'm rambling on here, so I'm going to show you a few things that I'm using to help me out, that I've kind of learned, and show you what I'm going through. Anyway, so I have a son in Illinois and I have a son in Indiana, and this case that I'm currently working on is an Indiana case. So let's give you a lowdown. So I'm looking this up. This is the Omnibus Reconciliation Act of 1993, Public Law 103-66. So that's what we're looking up, and so I'm looking for keywords and things like that. But let's step back a second, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. So these are the papers that I filed because I was being denied visitation. So what you want is a citation for contempt. That way you can fine the mother, typically the mom, for not allowing you visitation. So you can't just say, well, I want a citation for contempt. You have to file in Indiana anyway. And also, I guess probably a disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving legal advice. This is for information purposes only and entertainment. So be that as there's a legal disclaimer. So anyway, Indiana, you have to file a petition for rule to show cause, and in Illinois too, and I'm sure a lot of other states. And then the court, based on that, what they find at that court hearing, they issue a citation for contempt of court. Well, what happens is basically when Dad tries to file any papers, they deny every single paper that has nothing to do with child support, because they only want money. So here's what I did. I had to change a few names. Of course, we can't have names, so I don't want to get sued. So we have her lawyer. Her lawyer is a scumbag. I've had a restraining order issued on me, and I've caught her in lies. They dismissed the first one. Now I got a restraining order again. Of course, I have proof that I wasn't even there. Plus, she's made multiple false allegations against me, but I have proof I wasn't there during the alleged events. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole nother video. That's going to be kind of probably lengthy by the time I get through everything, so I'm going to try and handle this real quick and just briefly go over a lot of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and hopefully help you out. So anyway, so you file this petition for rule to show cause. Then from there, based on what the court decides, they issue a citation for contempt. Most of the time in Mom's case, probably over 90%, they slap her on the wrist. So basically, in the state of Illinois, this is Indiana, but in the state of Illinois, they have a lawyer that passed a bill in 1986 that a woman could be fined, or a custodial person with the kids could be fined $25,000. That law was passed in 1986. To date, no woman has ever been charged more than $200 in fines since 1986. So basically, you're railroaded, and there's lots of different things, but we're gonna try and find some solutions. I'm gonna show you. So this is what I'm filing. So I changed her lawyer's name because I don't want to get sued, because this guy's a dirtbag. He runs for office. He's run for treasurer and public offices and things. So we're gonna change his last name. So her attorney's name is Mr. O'Fondle, and of course Jane Doe, John Doe. So there's a sample, and you have your basic BS down here, however you want to word it. And maybe I might put up some sample forms one of these days, and so kind of help you out, so you know how to file them in this state. And Illinois, I file them in Illinois too. This is basically how you do it. This is how your heading goes. Of course, if you're not in Lake County, you would change that. So it might vary a little bit from town to town, but pretty much this is how you do it. So if you're not sure, look at the heading that you have from the papers and plug it in, And so this is, of course, I am pro se because I'm self-represented here. So let's minimize this, and we'll take up. And this is their response every time you file papers. The clerk's office has messed with me in the past. The little clerks don't mess with me anymore. They just go ahead and file the papers, and then it gets to the magistrate, and the magistrate files an order to strike filings, which means all the papers that you file are completely removed. It's like you never even filed them. And if you read through all the rules and regulations and you get everything exactly right, even if you get it exactly right, they go down here too. They have an other tab that they click. So basically, for any reason, so you're trying to get these. The clock is ticking, and they're denying you every single thing that you file. And Rick gave me some papers, and I went through it and added the heading and everything that you need, case number and the information, so that all that information in there. At this time, she didn't have a lawyer. She was denying me visitation. We have joint custody. She has just kept him. Also, in the restraining order, she said that I kidnapped him. How do you kidnap on a joint custody? But basically, I told my son I was going to file papers, and his mom's going to be flipping out. And he says, "Well, I don't want to be there." I said, "Well, you haven't visited me all summer. Maybe you should call your mom and while I file these papers." And because he's 14 now, I'm open with him, and I don't want to. I don't like to badmouth the other parent, but he's caught in the middle. He's not stupid. He knows what's going on. So I kind of I want to keep him out of the crosshairs, basically. So anyway, when I tried to do that, she accused me of kidnapping. He willingly walked out the door, but I'm kidnapping. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. So that's where we're at. And here's the papers. So if you want a sample of what they do, and here's the magistrate down here. It says judge or magistrate. This is not a magistrate. This is not a judge. This is a magistrate. And there's no judge. Okay, it's a clerk. Michael A. Brown, who also is under investigation for sexual harassment and some pretty nasty things. He's supposed to be trying to run for county sheriff. I don't think he's going to make it, because he's trying to beat a rap right now. I don't know if he did it or not. That doesn't, just because somebody in the clerk's office rubber stamps his name doesn't mean he's, a dirtbag. But, he's got to know what's going on. So I would, my opinion, he knows he's a dirtbag. So anyway, it's a sample form you're going to get. You might be different for your county, but pretty much that's what they do. So now you waited. Well, when was it that I filed this paper? All right, so the clock's ticking. You file this paper This was the 14th. She got it on the 15th. If maybe 7-10 days might go by the time it gets to the clerk's office to get sent out. So and then you got 30 days till a court date or so. At this point they hadn't filed, but what I'm saying. Once the clock is ticking, and you're trying to get your paperwork and be heard, they're playing dirty pool basically. So all they want you in there for, they basically, this isn't the only paper. I've filed about 5 different papers in this courtroom for this case. I also filed a motion for continuance, and basically struck everything from the record with the exception of child support. So they set up a pre-trial to determine child support because according to Title IV defunding, that's the first thing they want to do, is they want to set up their I can't remember exactly what code it is. But basically, at the earliest convenience, they want to set up child support. And I wish I could remember what that was off the top of my head. I have it written down, but anyway, this isn't about that. I just kind of want to give you an up to where we're at and some solutions to combat this. So I'm looking up laws, and I've been looking up laws, and I've got tons and tons. Right now I'm trying to organize it for court. So it's a chore trying to organize it. Also, if you're so poor you can't pay attention, the software that I'm using, Word type software, this is an open source software. So basically it is free to download. It's not free, it's open source. So basically by donation, or if you use it for business or you alter this, then you might owe some money. Because it's open source. They give you the source code if you want to recreate this to suit your own needs. You can and use it for your personal use, but if you want to try and repackage this and sell it, you're going to owe them some money. But when I donated over here, so they have PayPal, I think, probably some different things. You can put credit card. It's a couple of different versions. Anyway, when I did this, I did Bitcoin because it's non-traceable. Well, it's pseudonymous. It can be anonymous if you do it right. Basically, harder to track the money because there has been some retaliations. Some lawyers have been disbarred. Lawyers' kids have been taken. If they find out you're part of a father's rights movement, then they, make it really hard on you. They go and they, anyway, so the more anonymous you can be when you're doing this, the better. So I have several different emails. So anyway, this is a great software. So this is free. Here's the link. Go ahead and stop the video. As opposed to it's another Word program. I'm not going to say which one because I don't want to get sued. This is if you get this premium package, it's $149 plus. If you add some other bells and whistles to it, you're talking probably $100 a piece, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they give you a little bit of a discount, but you might get out of there $200, maybe $400, maybe. I don't know exactly. But anyway, this other one is about 98% compatible. And if one of these guys is helping you out, but you're scrubbing nickels together and they're asking for a donation, and you're going to spend $149 anyway, you could send it to a guy. I'm not asking for a donation. I'm just trying to help out. But you could send it to, Rick or Amon or somebody that might need a donation or something. I'm not saying what you should do, but there you go. There's a solution. So as far as email, if I want to be anonymous, you have to have a Gmail account in order to have a YouTube account. So that's why you have my Gmail account, because that's connected to the YouTube account. If you want to be anonymous, this Proton Mail is out of Sweden. Now, their free package. I also have a Proton Mail account. I have several email accounts, so a lot of this is I'm not any like terrorist or any stupid thing like that. Just the more you can kind of protect yourself, the less headaches. Why not? Why not? Better safe than sorry. I'm not the kind of person. I like facts. I don't like to be paranoid about things, but why not be safe? I mean, you got this. You have 500 megabytes. Not very big for storage, but you know what? You got 150 messages. They're based out of Sweden, so you have different laws. It's outside the United States jurisdiction. Because, believe it or not, now this is not paranoid. I'm going to show you this. The Electronic Communications Privacy Act, or the ECAP. I'm not kidding. Here's the link. Go look it up yourself. After 180 days, if they say, well, we're investigating you because, oh, I don't know, a crazy X made up some BS about you, and believe me, they do investigate you over some stupid stuff. I was investigated, and I am investigated. I'm sure she's throwing out all kinds of crazy crap about me, and she is about to get sued and put in jail if I have my say so over it. But anyway, they can, so anything that you send to Gmail, just know 180 days under Yahoo, under the United States Electronic Communication Privacy Act, they can read your email. Look it up yourself. I'm not kidding. So this Proton Mail is a solution. If you need more storage than this, they have a paid version of this. There's several other ones out there. It uses encryption, basically with the laws in Sweden and the encryption. If you're the NSA, if the NSA wants to look at you, they're going to look at you. But for the average law enforcement agency, good luck with that. So just, giving you a solution here. If you need more storage than this, you could go to Mega. And I think I don't know what it is, but it's bigger than this. So basically, if you feel like you need more storage than this, you could send it from here to Mega. And if you need more storage than that, you know what? Maybe you should look down here and get their Plus Pack, or what else they got. Bigger ones, and there's some other ones. You can Google it. I use another one out of Iceland that's under different laws and stuff like that. I don't keep really anything in there. It's just if I have to have it, it's set up. So that's another solution if you're getting hassled and you're getting spoofed emails like I did, and getting your phone tracked like I did with their MC catchers and things that the law enforcement have. That's pretty much subsided now. I don't, so, but that's neither here nor there. So let's dive into some of these solutions here. So I'm using Firefox. So this is, you can use Firefox on Apple. You can use it on Windows. I think they even have a version of it for Linux. If you know how to use Linux, you're probably at a point where you don't need my help. This is also compatible with Windows or Apple or Linux. In fact, this came out for Linux. I think it was the original version was Black Hawk Office or something like that. It's changed to LibreOffice. Libre is book in Spanish. For those of you that speak Spanish, for those of you that speak Spanish, I'm sorry you had to hear my Spanish. Usually don't speak Spanish out of a courtesy for others. But that's you got a free version that's pretty good. So anyway, I'm using Firefox. Download it if you like it. Try it out for a so there's rather than for a search engine, or not a search engine, but I might lost at words, so you know what Firefox is. You have, what do you got? A couple of them, Google Chrome. There's a couple of different things. I don't know why my brain's not working. It's about 12:20 at night here. I'm still up studying. I've been up fairly early this morning. So anyway, what I'm using over here is a it's called multi-keyword highlighter. So what I did is I went over here and I went over here. This is in Firefox. So you open this up, you go to add-ons, and right away it's so you can go to get add-ons. What do we got over here? So if you're looking for something, you can type in highlighters right here and do a search, and it'll come up with all kinds of things. What I recommend is you look at the date here. This is January 2017, so pretty much all year long they haven't updated this thing. This is August. That's not too far away. December 6th. This has been recently updated. So let's take this one for example. Let's look in here. Now you got about 4 stars. That's probably pretty good. You want to read through and see what it is that you're downloading, see if it applies to what you're doing. So that's how I found this. Let's back up here, and so then what you would do is you would install that, and then it'll have a little pop-up over here that says add. Then you add it, and it'll put them up here in your toolbar. So I have DuckDuckGo is what I use for my search engine. They don't track you. So anyway, let's back it up one more here, and we'll go over here to, where's my highlighter? Where was it? Where is it at? Here's another highlighter. Okay, so here we go. So multi-key highlighter. Let's take a look at it here. So it's got 4 stars. It's pretty decent. But what this does is it does keywords, multi-keywords. Now, when you print this out, it doesn't keep it highlighted, which would be awesome. Maybe there's some other ones, and if you know one, go ahead and give me a shout out, and say, give me a heads up and say, hey, I found another one even better. If we help each other out, then we become a little bit better with everybody that helps each other out. So anyway, this is what I'm using. And here's what it does. So you go over here, and I have all these keywords. Now for each one of these keywords that I'm looking for, this is an 11-page thing. And let's take a look at what we're looking at here. It's this the Omnibus Reconciliation Act of 1993, Public Law 103-66. Was this? No, this is of 1993. So this is pre. What was her name? Vicky Turetsky, the head of child support. I think she was elected in 2008. I think Obama elected her in 2008. And they did some updates to the child support, but a lot of this stuff is still applicable. So anyway, I wanted to know how many. I wanted to see voluntary. So I did a keyword search, and let me show you how I did it. So you come up here, click on that, and you can add keyword searches. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to put a comma, space, and just any word. So I'm going to put of. So every of in there will be highlighted a different color. So I'm going to push save, and just to show you what this does. So as you can see, this is in red, of. I don't know how many times, but you get the idea that, every time it says of, so if you're looking for a keyword, it's going to tell you what you're looking for. So, basically I wanted to look for keywords like, I did title 4D, and it came up one time because they didn't use title in here. So it's pretty specific. So if you keep it short, like 4D, paternity, voluntary, presumption, also, like objection, objections, and things like that. It gives, you want to put in all those different variations. You know, like I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna remove of, because I don't need to see of. You kind of got the idea. So basically, when I'm going through and I'm taking notes and trying to highlight everything, it helps me out and do that. So I put presumptions, dismiss, dismissal, dismiss, objection, paternity, voluntary. You know, you get the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And just going to redo it. Oh, I got something crazy going on now. All right. Let's see what we got. Oh, I got, yeah, so everywhere where I have one of these, I didn't erase that. Alright, so now we'll hit save. Only if you're doing a video. There we go. So, anyway, let's take a look. What else do we want to go over? Okay, so, anyway, I'm getting such a hard time with this, and right now I'm going, and they want to do child support. So basically, I filed some of Rick's papers, plus Amon Osiris's papers, and when I filed Rick's papers, they didn't give me an order to strike filings because he's got some pretty good paperwork. You probably want to give him a donation. It's probably worth your time if you got to spend any amount of time looking up these laws, which I've done it. I know it. I hear Rick bitching, and I remember trying to help some of these guys out, and they're just, you know, the only thing they want to hear is their case, their case, their case, their case, and you know, you're doing a protest and they don't show up, and you say, hey, yeah, I didn't see you at the protest. Yeah, you know what, they yeah, you hear everything. You know, I had to wash and wax my lawnmower, I couldn't make it. You know, the football game was on. You know, you hear everything. You know, like you know, one guy, I couldn't make it because they were charging me so much for child support. I was just too poor to make it. No, because you didn't make it, they keep charging you for child support. You know. So I've been through it. Believe me, I've had them. You know, it's like. You try to get anything done for your children, and all they want to hear about is child support. And you know, especially Illinois, oh my God, they won't hear anything about it. And even if you don't file a thing about child support, well, where are you at on your child support? And then you go in there and well, nobody's filing anything about child support. I object. Well, you know, we got to do what's in the best interest of the child, you know, and after about, you know, a couple of times of that, you realize, you know what, I'm going to go to public aid, which is, that's what child support, the Title IV defunding is supposed to be for, is if someone's collecting public assistance. If you watch any of Amon's Osiris's videos or Rick W's, you'll know that, and or if you know, preferably if you've done any research at all, you know that. But so I got smart and I went over before I went to court, because you got a 9 o'clock appointment, right? You're gonna be sitting there till 11, maybe 10 o'clock if you you know. So you go in there about 8:30, public aid, go over there and get their latest records. That way I'm set. I got their records from that morning. You go over there and you know, you try and one up the judge, and well, we got to go to public aid. Well, no need to do that. I've already been there. I'm overpaid on child support. Oh, well, you know, we're gonna have to check for ourselves. Well, okay, so you take a recess, and you're there pretty much the whole day, and they hem-haw around and you know, send you through all kinds of nonsense, waiting around all freaking day long. You can't go to lunch. You know, of course, they're handing out parking tickets, you know, because you can't leave to go repark your car and stuff, and it's stupid. So while they're doing all that crap, and well, you know what, we've came up and we've found that you owe money. You know, No, I have their latest records. Oh, well, you know, we have to take public aid's word out for it because, you know, we don't want to hear math and science and things. That's just annoying. We got to take their word for, because their word comes from God and no one can question that. You know, so that's the type of nonsense that you get when you go into court. and we've all been through it, so that's enough for that rant for now. So anyway, so what else we got? Alright, it's another tab I had open here. Okay, so anyway, I'm getting such a runaround. I'm going to go ahead and go into this. That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm doing it. That's the tools I'm doing it. You guys get it. If not, you can pause the video and take a look. So anyway, I was getting such a runaround with this thing on the restraining order. I go down to the, you know, in the town that she's in. I can't go there because she's got a restraining order on me. So I've called and called and called this. I've sent letters. The guy won't respond here, and it's just a small town. There's just one police officer, maybe more than that. I've only ever talked to one guy. Dustin is his name, in Morocco, Indiana. Will not return any calls, will not respond to paperwork. I can't get the police reports. I can't submit evidence. I've told him on the phone that you know, if she's filing false reports, I have evidence I would like to present. Nothing. And I'm getting the DA. I can't seem to get an answer back. Will not return a phone call from the DA's office. So, and I got this other court, you know, with them denying paperwork and everything. I don't have time for that. As soon as I'm done with this, hopefully, I'm gonna hit her, and I want her in jail. If I got to be the prosecutor myself, she's going to jail. And if that fails, I'm gonna sue the living crap out of her. Probably both. But I'm getting such a runaround. I'm like, man, this is like the Title IV funding, you know, for child support. Maybe they're getting grant money here too. You know what? Let's check. And guess what I found? Grant programs. Here's the link. Check it out for yourself. Department of Justice, grant money for all kinds. And you know what? If a woman is actually being abused, I want to see help there. I've never laid a hand on a woman in my life, despite what my ex says about me. But it's, you know, so, you know, basically I've been to court with her, and every court case I've been to, she's filed a restraining order on me. She's had every single one of her exes has a restraining order. She's had family members that she's filed restraining orders on. She knows how to work the system, and I'm, you know, unfortunately feeling the wrath of that BS. And a lot of the reasons that I suspect, I haven't dug into this yet, and if you know about this, please shoot me a link or any information that you have. Please give me a heads up, because I went to the DA's office before and nothing. I had to work. They dropped the restraining order, so I didn't pursue it because you know, I had to work for a living, and I was left so desolate by the time you know, I had everything stolen from me during my divorce case. That you know, with the restraining order, they kick you out. She steals all your stuff. You get nothing. Oh yeah, plus you're left in debt, and you pay her lawyer's fees too. So that's where I was left. I was destitute. There was a recession at the time. I'm just like struggling. So I dropped it. I didn't pursue it. And you know, we worked out things with a joint custody after she got in trouble with Child Protective Services. So and then I got custody of my son. He lived with me for 2.5 years. But anyway, so I'm looking at this and I'm finding, yeah, okay, so this looks familiar. You know, so they have all of these grant funds, and one of them is police departments for training. So they're getting extra money for training. You know, well, you know, so if if you're in a government agency, it's like you have roads that need to be fixed, but if you fix them, then you don't get any more money. So you don't fix them, so then they have to assign more funds and another entity to an already overinflated agency to handle the problem that they didn't fix because they had the money to fix it in the first place. So it's pretty much the same trick, so they instigate the problem so they can get more funds because all these social ills are good for business. That's how they operate. So, and unfortunately, there are actually some women in here that need some help, and I really hate to see that, but but it's become more of a situation where these social ills are good for business, and they don't want to see it go away, like the divorce industry, which is a $50 billion a year industry with a B. I'm not kidding. So what else we got? All right, so we've covered pretty much everything, I think. So anyway, I'm not asking for donations. These guys help me out. I'm going to give them a plug, and say if you need some paperwork, contact one of them. Maybe I'll do some sample forms or something. I would recommend to those guys that they use Bitcoin. But you can put a QR code up and use Bitcoin. That's I recommend that people work for Bitcoin, because if they don't know where your money is, it's a little hard for them to take it away. If and one of their primary tools is attack the money, and then once you're poor, you can't fight them anymore, and you have to give in to their involuntary servitude by means of extortion. So anyway, I'm going to end this video. It's pretty long already. If you need to reach me, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, help each other out. I'm going to be posting some videos as I go along, and I'm doing this. I might as well help someone else out. Once this is pretty easy to do. It's as I'm doing it, I can go ahead and show you what I'm doing. It doesn't take much time, and I can have this up and running with no editing. Here we go. This is what we want to look for. One thing is subsection or section symbol. This symbol right here. If you're using Windows, on your keyboard, and we'll show you the keyboard here. If you don't know where these keys are, so what you want to do is you want to push down the ALT, this button right here, or this button right here, and you want to use this number, these numbers right here. Not these numbers. This will not work if you use these numbers. Believe me, I've done it. So there's lots of different symbols that you can come up with. So this is what you're using on your keyboard. If you're not sure, pause the video, back it up, take a look at the keyboard, look at your keyboard. This, you know what? Let's take a look at this. This is like my keyboard. So this is a QWERT, QWERT. There's hackers use some different keyboards. And maybe Apple does. I don't know really. Most of them are pretty similar. This is a pretty common keyboard. So there's a couple of different ones out there, but that's common keyboard. So you press the ALT or Alt and press 0167 for a Windows operating system, and that's how you get this symbol. And every time if I haven't filed papers, I have to go back and look on see how I did that. So hopefully this helps you out, because I know I have to go and refresh every time I do it. But on a Mac, I don't have a Mac. I don't use a Mac. Nothing against them. I just don't use it. I use Linux too, but if you know how to use Linux, you probably don't need help with this. Also, if you want to do it in HTML, there's how you do it right there. But for all intents and purposes, I would say you're either using Windows or Mac. So we're going to stick to these two. So anyway, if you're using Mac, you hold down the Option key and press 6. And apparently that gives you the subsection or section symbol, which is this symbol right here. And here's the link if you want to look it up for yourself. Feel free to go ahead. What do we have here? So, there's that. Pause, take a look at the links, look up the information for yourself. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice. I'm just showing you what I would do in the situation. And if what I would do helps you out and you think what I would do might help other people out, feel free to like, share, subscribe. And if you need to contact me, you know what, go ahead and leave a comment down below. That would be great, because when you leave comments, you like, you subscribe, that gets the algorithms going, and that shares the video. And the more the video shares, the more people that helps. And that's how we help each other out. If you don't like, subscribe, share, then fewer people see it, fewer people get helped. I'm not asking for a donation. I'm just trying to help, do a guy a favor, help other people out. If you need help, contact Amino Osiris. I might post some, maybe some sample forms to help you guys out. I was thinking about doing that because it used to just drive me nuts. If I was out there videotaping, and they seen me with the video camera, before I even got home, I was getting messages. You got that video up yet? And it takes about a week to edit a videotape if you do it that way and you're using editing software. This way, I don't have to do editing. I can have this video up and running in no time. So, and plus, people think your only job is, you don't have to work for a living. Your only job is their case, their case, their case. That's all you hear about, and you gotta help each other out. It can't just be about your case. If united we bargain, divided we beg. So you gotta help each other out. That's the key. If we had gotten together 30 years ago when all this crap started coming to a head and nipped this in the butt, we wouldn't be here now. But it's the same type of mentality that took the cigarette industry 30 years to dispel the notion that cigarettes weren't good for you. The same type of media is going on. If you don't like and you don't subscribe, you're not helping yourself out. You're not helping other people out. So share it, like, subscribe. If you need to contact me, you can reach me at AmericanFathersUnion@gmail.com, or just leave a comment, and I'll try and get back with you. Like I said, reach out to one of these other guys. I'm going to end this video. It's getting pretty long. If you like this, help each other out. So post one of yourself. If you have any suggestions on some better ideas, let me know. Don't leave me hanging. Help other people out. Thanks.